Today in our devotion time, I want to speak to you about strengthening your weaknesses. Now, we all have weaknesses. It's just what we do with them. In fact, it's very interesting in this passage in Hebrews chapter 12 that we've been looking at in several of these devotions. In Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 12, it talks about lifting up your drooping hands, and then also it talks about strengthening your weak knees. And so we have weaknesses, and when a runner is out running in a long distance, we have to lift up those drooping hands. In fact, today, as I was working out this morning, my partner that I was working out with, our trainer said to him, lift up your hands, straighten up those shoulders. And his arms were becoming weak when we became tired. And when you become tired, there's these weaknesses that begin to set in our lives. And that happens often in our Christian walk, in our Christian life. As the more we run the race that God's given us to run, we quit picking up our knees, we let our arms droop and our shoulders droop, and we lose that form. You see, the key to the Christian life is form. Conformity unto the image of Jesus Christ. And so we've got to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. And He's our great coach, and He says, straighten up those shoulders, pick up those knees when you run. And as you do that, you'll find yourself becoming more and more like Jesus. But now I know, the question is this: how do you do that? How do you strengthen your weaknesses? Well, the Bible says, in our weaknesses, God's strength is made perfect. And so what we must do is we must look for the strength of God. God allows weaknesses in each of our lives, and you have them, I have them. God allows these weaknesses in our lives so that we will depend upon His strength. You see, where we're strong, people will say, man, that guy is really strong. Who gets the glory for that? You get the glory. But when you're weak and you can't do something and you're susceptible to falling and failing, and then there's that grace that's applied to your life, God's strength, then what happens is this, that people look at you and they say, wow, look what God did in that person. Look what God did in him or her. And what happens is His grace is sufficient, and we're more like Christ, and He gets all the glory. He gets all the honor. And that's what it's all about. So God, in all of our lives, He knows that we have weaknesses, but what He does is He strengthens our weaknesses. He's the great coach that says, all right, lift up your shoulders, pick up those weak knees, lift them up. And then He comes and He gives us the strength and the grace to do that, so that people look at us and they see the form, conformity unto the image of Jesus, and they give great glory and honor to Him.